I repotted my aloe vera. Big news. And the real big news is all of this crazy, I think it's called pigweed. That's what we believe it to be called. It's just everywhere sprouted up. And this stuff here too. Can't remember what that is called. But don't mind that so much. The chickens love that stuff. They don't give a crap about the pigweed. But that was all this bedding that was inside the chicken coop that got absolutely drenched night one and soaked with silt and whatnot. The door fell apart today. I just looked over. It came unglued, literally. And it's time to clean the coop again. We got, surprise, surprise, we got shit everywhere. Pardon my French. But the city, I don't know how much I'm going to say, but the city, so what happened is an irrigation line here on the backside, 8-inch pressurized irrigation water line runs right about that. It's about, I don't know, 8 foot into our yard. From this back wall, runs about right here, more or less. So yeah, I'd say that's more like 10 foot, 12 foot. And it runs from here, god dang it. Sure, dry leaves go. And it runs right underneath that edge of the concrete pad that our coop sits on. And they busted it. It's an 8-inch pressurized water line that is right under here, about 5-6 feet deep. So anyways, they excavated around after they made their mistake, and it actually was busted right about here, was busted, which is about 2 foot off of the corner of this pad. And let's see, yeah, about 5-6 feet down. They busted it right about here, and they excavated all the dirt out, and then I guess it's like a way of apologizing for their what's the best words to use here? They refuse to kind of accept liability, but they're the ones. We have them on camera. We have everybody on camera saying the things that they said. So before I dive too deep into it, I know exactly who else is responsible. And to be honest, in my opinion, it's a 50-50 split between the city and the contractor. But the city scraped down and put all of this rock in for us. They poured a bunch of sand on top of all the mud that was in the chicken coop. Yeah, they poured all this rock down. Didn't get rid of that, but which would have been nice since they had all this stuff out here and it was talked about. But the gate had to be raised because of the change in elevation. And then they took it all the way down to the street, this rock. And there was so much water, all these, this is only less than, yeah, it's 2 weeks, and all these weeds are coming up through the rocks, because they didn't put weed barrier down, they just put rocks and tried to cover the tracks as soon as possible to get out of here and forget about the misbehaviors. So they took it all the way down. A new cap to our sewer was promised. That was not delivered. This, I don't know, when we first moved in, that's a foot from a scaffolding assembly. Anyhow, so that's the that's the update. We got rocks from the front all the way to the back now with weeds in it. So neat, huh? Anyway, so I mean, I do appreciate the trying to save some face and right the wrong, but sure it's gonna suck running a mower over the rocks or doing something to. Some of those weeds don't even react to weed killer, so they have to be pulled by hand. You can see, I mean, it's a very thin amount of rock. So that's just 2 weeks of growth. That's a pier block. You can see it's going quick. But yeah, I gotta get that nasty bedding out. All this, our wood piles, working on getting rid of that. We gotta build a new fodder box. Well, we don't need to build a box, but we could. But we gotta put new soil and dirt down. And the chickens miss their fodder box. They like picking at that stuff. They've been in here just tearing up the oregano, unfortunately. They love it. Yeah, but and this stuff is just... So there was... I gotta go through my phone and put some videos in of the... when it happened in the moment. You could see the 2 feet of water, roughly, that was in this whole backyard. The poor chickens were floating away and drowning. This whole thing, this whole area. I mean, don't get me wrong. This was not a parade home ever. It was a neglected home when we bought it. It was built in '93. But the water had come up and was about this high here on the... If you step back, you could see it was within about 3 inches or so from getting into the garage, and 6 inches or so from getting into the house. Had we not been 2 minutes... Is it still alive? From the house when it happened. Away from the house. 7:39. How long is this one on? Is it still alive? Oh, it's still alive. Away from the house when it happened. Away from the house. 7:39. How long is this one on? I guess it's... All right, we'll turn that off. Well, thanks for sticking with me through that. But my phone overheated. I guess it's 100 plus over here today. But I was going to show you some chickens. Leghorns are all snuggled up. Picture perfect. And Bluey's negotiating a cabbage. And who do we got back over there? Rella. She's picking at some romaine that went bad. Who's this? Is this Bluey or Pecky? That's Pecky. Oh, Bluey's right there. My fish brain. And then we've got... Karen's probably in the garden because this door is open. Oh, she is. Okay. The garden's doing great though. The corn's like 8 foot tall. We got a bunch of stuff going on. The squashes, squash, pumpkins, zucchini, watermelon, and cantaloupe, all doing great over there. This is a new addition. We'll spend some time with that in a little bit. Just kind of wrapping up here. And can't forget Karen. And we're getting about 3 eggs a day. So they just started laying. These girls are 4 weeks older than those girls. So we've only been getting eggs now for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So we should maybe... And I'm expecting any kind of moment because genetically they're supposed to lay eggs sooner than the barred rock. There's Karen being her own self. So anyway, I gotta dump some salt on these oleander stumps. Gotta trim this one back. I got one behind there. I gotta dump some salt in that thing. Maybe trim back some of this mulberry tree. And I've set up to dump some salt down. I gotta drill those holes out deeper though. This wood is really hard. But anyway, y'all have a good Sunday. Let's scare the girls. Okay, ladies, bye.